and welcome to PTSD While Black. Hi, I'm Quinn. Today I was in a group around race. Two groups actually. I had so many back-to-back meetings today. I was like, what the hell? But something that got brought up in one of the shares that just struck a chord with my soul in what started this issue of dealing with being gang stalked and harassed is that my shining and receiving, my being out in the world as my full, authentic, vibrant self is seen as a threat to some people. The fact that I'm someone who makes balloon animals as a black woman with disabilities and I can sing and do that at the same time, except it does trigger seizure episodes, or at least makes my brain hurt. The very fact that I do this, someone out there sees it as a threat. The fact that I can sing, I'm moderate voice actress at best, there's plenty of learning that I need to do. Someone sees that as a threat. Someone sees that as if it's something I should not be able to do. That having a home, having a car, having a husband is not something that I should have in my life. That's what somebody sees that as. And that's been a large part of the push in this stalking that has happened in my life, is because I ran across somebody who was like, no, black disabled people shouldn't have this, because maybe they haven't sorted things out for themselves in their own lives. And especially because I'm somebody who can show my emotions. I show them openly. If I'm sad, I cry. If I'm happy, I laugh. But I've learned, for me, as someone who used to be a self-injurer, which that's what you see the scars on my hands and arms are from. That's from the cutting as a teenager to my 20s. I didn't know how to express my emotions. I didn't know that it was important to just get them out of me. And so I was taking it out on my body. And so my remedy, my healing as a person has been to express it. I had to learn how to express it, unapologetically express my emotions, just like unapologetically stuttering when I was recovering from the brain injury. But that someone sees that as a threat, that I should not have these things. And I realized I was dealing with a lot of people who are from the southern United States, which is where I grew up, which is where my trauma is rooted, is from the southern United States, where there are white people of dominant culture, who think that I should not be smarter than someone else, that I should not have the good things that I have in my life because I'm black, because I was given less advantages in life and I learned how to use them, use and learn from my disadvantages. I learned how to build a life for myself. Someone sees that as a threat, or that I shouldn't be able to do that. But regardless of how they view it, I have a full responsibility to live my life. I have a full responsibility to show up whole, to be authentic, to be loving, to love. I have a full responsibility to share joy. And so I'm grateful for this fucked up situation, because now it's got me looking at, okay, Quinn, you were living in kind of a big vagueness bubble around racism and jealousy, around your ability to thrive as a person of color and to have skills, gifts, and talents that you're using. I didn't think that there would be people who would be so angry that I could do something that they would stalk me, that they would hack my computer and my phone, that they would spread rumors. I didn't think that was completely possible. But now I'm having this greater understanding that, yeah, there are people who just want you to be miserable because they couldn't figure things out for themselves. And so that's part of the world. And so I'm realizing that part of my action plan as a performer, as an entertainer, I'm going to have to include what happens when I out-sing somebody, or I out magic tricks. I can't do magic tricks. I can do a couple magic tricks. But what if I surpass somebody as a magician or somebody as a balloon artist and that someone gets jealous? What then? Do I shrink to make them comfortable? And that's what I've been doing, is I've been shrinking and hiding my talents to make other people comfortable. I've been binge eating instead of saying what I need to say or creating what I need to create, doing what I need to do, and being who I need to be. And so I'm just recognizing, oh, this is just another lesson, again, being presented for me to be fully, authentically me with the skills, gifts, and abilities that I was given, and every last one that I'm going to continue to figure out as I go through life. But yeah, this country has a history of, and you think about this, whites owned blacks as slaves in this country. Though several whites had more advantages than being property, they still did not have the skill set and the capability that people who have been enslaved were able to pass down to one another through working agriculture, for example. And that's really the big root of it. And so then when the slaves were emancipated, they had the skill set to farm, to grow, to do things, whereas whites who didn't have to get out there and do the work didn't have that skill set. And they were very angry that there was someone else who could do the work where you were making the money off of it, but you couldn't do that work yourself. And that's really the root. That's really the root of that envy, that jealousy that we have as a nation from the dominant culture of white people and property owners, landowners, business owners, towards the working class. And it's how can we each sit with this? Because people of color have every right to thrive and to use the skills that they learned how to do to survive. Just like you have every right to thrive. Just like, with the Republicans saying, you worked for the money, you should be able to keep your money. It's kind of the same thing. I worked for my skills, and I should be able to keep my skills and thrive based upon those skills. It's the same. So what is it for the dominant culture to be at peace and to heal around this? And I think for you, it's a place of being able to name your feelings of shame. Being able to name your anger. Not take your anger out on other people, but to name it. For you to see that this is anger. And I've said this many times, I had a white friend, he was gay, and he's gay and white, and his boyfriend was Chinese, and he's like, sometimes I'm very jealous and angry that my boyfriend had less advantages in life, and he chose to do more with his life than I did. And it was just good to hear my friends say that, because it's like, oh. And so now this is how I get to choose to view those who would attack me. You've had more opportunities than I may have had in life as a black woman growing up in the projects as a kid, and now I'm differently abled. You may have had more opportunities than I had, and the scale is different. So it's, how can you forgive yourself for not doing the most, or for not learning and for not growing? How can you forgive yourself? How can you be open to growing? Something for you to consider. But for me, and that's what I'm going to focus on for myself and people of color, we have every right to thrive. We did the work, and we have every right to reap the benefits, to receive the harvest from the work that we've done. And no longer am I or those around me and those who are going to be part of my community, are we going to serve the insecurities of others who haven't given themselves the same opportunities to learn and grow? We each got the same 24 hours in a day. It's just, what did you choose to do with it, right? So that's where my mind is today. All right. Till next time, friends. Peace.